the jogging on. At the end of the day, when you've really poured it on and you've done all the stuff, self-confidence grows. That self-confidence affects your health, it affects your future, it affects your psyche. So this is true. One of the great powers is self-confidence. Self-confidence means willingness to do whatever it takes to achieve. Some people say, well, I'll do it for a little while and see what happens.
Starting up that.
A couple of things. If that doesn't work, I'm out of here. And all of us know that that kind of person doesn't have much of a future. But if you're willing to
sit in the office,
it takes. If I have to learn a couple of things, I will learn those things. If I got to learn 5 or 6 things, I'll learn all 6. If I have to take an extra class, I'll take an extra class. If I've got to read the books, I'll read the books. If I have to consult with people who know more than I know, I will do the necessary consulting. Whatever it takes, I will do. That starts to develop unbelievable self-confidence. Self-confidence also comes from the ability to rise above your circumstances, to rise above what happens, the petty little things, the discouraging things that would sink everyone else's ship except yours, that would cause someone else to quit early in the day, but you keep going. That kind of willingness to overcome all circumstances, whether it's the little challenges or the big challenges. If you're willing to do that, I promise you, this kind of power will work for you. And in you, the variable, it'll make a difference.
Really? That's your plan for movie night? Yeah, I got rid of our cable internet.
All right, everybody, we're going to get started in just about a minute. Again, welcome everybody to the Monday Morning Mojo Call this morning. We're going to bring it in just a minute.
Fight the challenge. All you gotta do is leave it better than you found it. It's gonna get difficult to stand, but hold your balance. I just say whatever, cause there is no way you're everyone. But you just gotta know that no it's okay. It's okay.
Hey, everybody. It is that time of the week. I am Julius Weems, and you see my partner and big brother, Big John. It is the Monday Morning Mojo Call, guys, and we are back live. I want to welcome all of you. I'm pumped up this morning because no matter how your weekend went, no matter how your Sunday went, today is the best day of your life. And I woke up this morning, I got in a cold shower, came downstairs, and I said, I've been here in Maryland for a few weeks and hadn't talked to my wife. She's like, you get up every morning like this, guys. This is not just for you guys, it's every day. And this morning I got up and I thought about you, and it's such a day of reflection for me. I knew where I was and what I was doing on this day back many years ago. And, today is a special day because it is truly the best day of our lives. And so welcome to the Monday Morning Mojo Call. I'm going to say good morning to my big brother and friend, Big John. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fired. I'm fired.
You're back home. You're back home. That's a good thing.
Back in Florida, Jewel, 35 days on the road, meeting so many wonderful people with this opportunity. Yeah, I'm fired up, man. I'm fired up. We got a good host of people coming on this call this morning, and I had a conversation with Michael last week, and I asked him if he would join us on our Monday morning call, and he was gracious enough to do that. And when you have a CEO that really connects with the field, it's a great feeling. It's a feeling of trust. It's a feeling of belief. And I've never been more excited, Julius. My blood's pumping 24/7. And I'm excited about this call to have a few questions with Michael and what this day is going to bring for each and every one of us. But I'd like to start this call A day 22 years ago, Julius, that we all felt our worlds get rocked, right? 9/11, the towers came down. Everybody was stunned. Everybody was walking around this country wondering what the hell is going on. And I want to take a moment, all of us, and we say never forget, but so often we do, right? We get caught up in our lives, and we forget that day. But today's the day we bring remembrance for all the lost souls of that tragedy 22 years ago. So I'd like to, all the people that went, and I knew many of them, my family included, my son, went on that pile and gave their time. And a lot of people gave their lives on that pile, Julius, from all the hazards that were there, years to follow, you know, with cancer, and but nobody thought of that. And what I remember about that day, as tragic as it was, is how everybody in America, no matter of their political opinions, no matter of their status, their culture, every American came together, right? We all came together that day, praying for people and people that lost their lives. So I'd like to take a moment of silence here right now, and everybody say prayers for those families, people that were perished on that tragic day. Amen. God bless their souls. May God bless their souls. Yeah, Julius, why don't you kick this call off? Why don't you let's talk about the excitement that's coming, right? Before we get Michael on, and we're gonna throw Michael a few questions today and let everybody know who Michael Fallquist really is, like we know him.
Yeah, Big John, when we look at what's been happening, everybody, I've seen you on the road, and, I'm up here in Maryland from Florida, and I'll just share over the last 7 days, there's just been an excitement, a renewed excitement. I know up in New York, Ohio, I know Ed's headed up to Ohio, but I just seeing what the leaders are doing in their commitment to where we're trying to go. And when I see new people come in, there was a young man who came in, Mr. Tim Day here in Maryland, and he got to meet Ed. We did the very first meeting in Maryland. And Tim, Tim's been in the industry, but he just said, I'm never coming in again. I'm never doing that again. When I tell you, when I talked to him and see how excited he was, and literally has, he threw me on the phone with a gentleman who, a top leader in one of the other companies that we back in the day competed against. And literally the guy said yes right away. I didn't have to do a 3-way call, but what it teaches, guys, is that our job is only one thing, is that to take our excitement to conversation. Take our vision of what this company has created to conversation. And when we take it to conversation, people will see what we have is not just an emotion, but it's a real direction to build, financial stability, right? We're helping people all over this country. We're delivering real value. And I'll tell you, it has got me fired up to see the people coming in and their excitement. And so the next couple of days, tonight alone, there are things we're going to hear. But for everybody on the call, I don't know where you're at. I don't know if you got into the business and you were moving a little slow like I was, if you got in and you weren't, hitting every button and, like Big John say, flipping cards. But all we're asked to do is share a little bit, and the company will do the rest. I will tell you guys, many of you know me, I'm an engineer, business consultant, all that, and I can be a little stubborn sometimes. Kirk will tell you that. But the one thing I see, guys, is that we have a company and a leader. They're doing their job. They're doing their part. So it makes it easy for us in the field. And that's not always easy to say when you're in a company, because sometimes a company doesn't do its job. But Big John, I'm excited because I see where we're going and how big it is. And and it's just got me fired up, and to see it in other people's eyes. I think, you and Kirk have been all over the country, but I get it now. It's just to see the fire in other people's eyes. You realize you're giving something that's going to change lives. So that's what I'm excited about, and so excited to have our CEO on the call this morning. And let's take it on in, man. Let's go it in.
Well, let me get this party started, Joel. I want to share my story about how I got involved. Many people know that I had a past. My wife Lella, had a past with Michael Fallquist in a previous endeavor, and that was the energy business. And one thing I'll tell you about Michael Fallquist is the reason when I got the phone call from the Kenny brothers. It was a Sunday afternoon. I'm sitting by my pool, and the three Kenny brothers called me, and I had a great relationship with them. Very high integrity people. We traveled the world with them. So right there and then, I knew it was something that I needed to take a look at. And when they shared this opportunity with my wife and I, the first thing I did was call Michael Fallquist. I haven't spoken to him in probably over a year. We had a very good relationship. I had a lot of trust in that man, right? He's a very special, focused, a true visionary. And the reason I came out of retirement, my wife and I, when we said we'll never do network marketing again, I think it's for two reasons. I believe the first reason is our trust in Michael Fallquist and how he will guide us, and how he guided us in the past, never turned his back on us. Even after the company was sold, they kept paying us for years and years and years and years. And right there, that tells me a lot about this man. And that's my story. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm pumped up. And I'd like to bring Michael on. Michael, are you there?
Hey, John, I am here, front and center. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing awesome, Michael. And Julius and I are pumped up. I hope you don't mind we throw a couple questions at you this morning and let people know who you really are and what your vision truly is.
Well, John, since you gave me no prep or no questions this morning of what you're going to talk to me about, I can only guess what's coming my way.
Well, again, Michael, we appreciate you being part of the field, right? Not many CEOs are traveling around, going to meetings, wanting to meet the people. And my first question for you is, they're all simple questions, but I think you'll have great answers. As a young man, Mike, you had success in a previous company. You really hit pay dirt. I think I could say you're financially free. What drove you, Michael, to want to, let's say, do it again?
Yeah.
What drove you to that point where you wanted to go back and start, just getting on the blackboard and meeting people and putting all that time in to go want to do it again?
I think it's the opportunity to build something special, right? Reflecting on the last journey, from Viridian to Creus to the sale to Vistra in 2019. I started that journey when I was 31. Took that company public when I was 34. There were a lot of decisions that I made which were imperfect. Ultimately got to a great outcome, right? Built a lot of great relationships. Obviously, people like you and others, had a great run in that journey. But I was reflecting on where I was in life, right? I have two beautiful children, a lovely wife. But at age 41, when you sell your company, I just saw this massive opportunity to do something that could really, truly create a legacy with the benefit of hindsight in terms of, knowledge, know-how, connections, relationships, right? It took me 6 months to find my first, leader who had been really successful in another company at my last company. This business, we attracted 3,000 people out of the gate. And so, when I think about doing this, I was talking to a leader the other day, right? I'm doing this because I want to. I'm doing this because I think it's a platform that can make change in people's lives, can do something great for the environment by, our clean energy products, being the leader in community solar. I'm doing this because I think this is an opportunity that we're all going to want to be a part of for a long time. So, the motivations are different this time. Like last time, like when I had the opportunity to go public, I took it, right? Even though things changed for me. But I took it because that's where I was at that time in my life. This time, very long-term focused and, leadership, financial backing, know-how. I think this is a run that we're all going to be excited to be a part of, and that's why I'm doing it.
Well, great, Mike. And as you're talking about focus, I know you're an extremely focused, you try to be as perfect as possible. I've known you to be that man. How do you grade yourself, Michael, on the first 6 months of what you envisioned in Think Energy, right? Because we know there was a lot of, we knew there was going to be problems, right? We had to launch the markets. You made all the leaders aware of that. So how do you grade yourself on these first 6 months in business, Michael?
Wow, I haven't thought about the grade. I would say incomplete is probably the way I would describe it. Because I think, as you said, we knew things, when the plane got up in the air in February, started, I guess, in December, and we knew we didn't have landing gear or we didn't have seats we were building the plane while we were in the air because of the opportunity. And, the moment we started that journey, for me, I wasn't thinking about tomorrow or the next day, right? I was thinking about 5 years from now. And so, at that time, I think those decisions we made were the foundation to get an A when the grade actually matters. But, for the imperfections along the way, I think I will say this. I think the team has done a great job, right? Being responsive, especially as we've continued to get more of the really strong people involved in the network, right? I'm sure this is totally for anybody who was in my last company, right? Remember the team that was around me? Well, first of all, I was, I think not as equipped as then as I was today, or as I am today. But, when you have people like Christian MacArthur, Phil Santonicetto, a team of people who are constantly solving your problems, and, living and breathing the company motto of continuous improvement. So I think the grade is incomplete. Do I wish things could be better, earlier, faster? Absolutely. But if I'm looking to the long-term horizon where, I want my grade to be an A, I think we're doing everything right to get there.
Yeah, and you know what, Mike, we all know, even out in the field, right? We don't see success until we experience failure on different levels as we're moving forward, as you're moving forward as the CEO and getting your corporate team together, the marketing, the technology, the customer support, right? It's all a work in progress, and we have to overcome those obstacles by recognizing what we need to fix. And I believe everybody there, I think you're leading a great group of people. We're getting great response, and I think it's getting better by the day, which gives more belief to the field. And I want to bring our good friend.
John, can I just say one thing there, because it's really important. In my last company, the belief in the field came from 3 or 4 of us who had interaction with the field. What's different about this time is the belief is so deep on the corporate side in terms of what this group can accomplish. It is really special. And that's, when I think about the foundational elements for long-term success, Yeah, that's a big part of it, is you have people, not just me on the phone call, who understands and can see what this group can create. It's that every other senior leader in the business and the people who report to them have that belief. So there's just this mutual belief building that's happened over the last 6 months. That is, again, of course I have it, but all the other parts of the team, it's pretty special.
Well, it's nice to know, Michael, when you're a CEO, no matter how good you are, it depends on the people around you. Same as us in the field, right? What do we look to do? We look to find the sharpest, most high integrity people to bring into our business. So, I mean, I think we're all in the same realm of thought here when it comes to really having great success. And I want to bring our good friend Julius, Mike. And I think the first time you met Julius was, I believe, in Rhode Island, right? So Julius has a question for you. Julius, hop on and say hello to Michael.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Julius, I'm still full from the day we met each other.
Let me tell you, I felt like I was talking to my CEO, but I felt like I was talking to a fellow geek as well, which was fun and consulting. And I talk about that meeting on many of my calls because, I in my other life I mentor a lot of CIOs for big companies, but you have an interesting, I just want to know, like, there's a lot of people in the business, right, that are professionals, come from consulting world, super analytical, and they're overthinking this business. And I don't think people understand just the business and technical. I mean, we were talking about artificial intelligence and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But for the people that are overthinking what we have in this space called energy, right? If you had to talk about where we were and where we're going in the industry, could you just talk about that a little bit? Because it's so powerful. It's the reason I'm here, because I see kind of your vision for where it's going. Can you paint a little bit of a picture of that for folks?
Definitely. If you think about, like, just the direction the grid is going, and just electrification of our lives as a massive trend that is, it's undeniable, right? Everybody's electricity consumption over the next 10, 15 years, especially as electric. I know I go into these rooms and I'm the only person who raises my hand that I've got an electric vehicle, but I promise you in 10 years that room is going to be half electric vehicles. And that's just a simple, easy example of why electrification is here to stay. I mean, there's many other examples, but electricity consumption is going up. What that means is our antiquated electric grids are going to be further and further strained, especially when you have a backdrop of more and more renewables being, a key driver. I'll take the Texas example, right? The Texas grid could do great when it's 107, 110, 115 degrees if the wind is blowing, right? That's the key, because there's so much wind on that grid. But what's happened this summer is you've had days where the wind has not shown up. And so therefore a massive component of their baseload generation isn't there. And so what that tells you is, you sort of think about the future, right? Electrification going up, renewables being the key source of generation that we're building in this country, which is intermittent based on sun for solar, wind for wind blowing for wind assets to be producing power. And therefore the grids, utilities are going to need solutions to balance power, right? That's the direction things are going. And so what you're going to find is you're going to find greater and greater price volatility that exists, both kind of seasonally, which is what we've seen, but more importantly, daily. And so one of the things that, honestly, the journey to do this right and do this the way we're doing it this time is kind of the opening question from John. The only reason I think we can be this successful is because we have a differentiated product that is kind of where the future is going. and the deployment of that, reward mechanism, cashback for customers who shift load from peak to off-peak times. I mean, that's what the grid needs. And that's where the grid is going, right? You need for the future of the grid. I use this example, right? Because Texas has all this conversation happening right now about how are they going to meet grid demand. And you have people who are just like, build generation, build generation, build generation. Yeah, you need more generation that is not contingent or intermittent based on, variables like wind and sun. But you also need demand response assets in every home, right? It's an all of the above solution, because you can't tackle the grid constraints that are coming due to electrification without both solutions. So I hope that makes sense.
It does. Thank you for that. And another question, so everybody knows that even building a company like this, what are the top 3 things that you read each week to keep you knowledgeable in this space?
Oh, that's a good question. So 3 things that I read a lot. So one is gonna so I read, this is not going to sound very intellectual, so I hate to do this. I read so 3 things that I read almost daily. So number 1 is I have so Energy Choice Matters. It's an industry publication. The reason I read it is because it's a very interesting. They report on all things tariffs, products. It's a really interesting way to have a kind of an overview of what's happening in our industry from a very technical perspective. They do really good reporting about everything. The second thing I read daily is I've got to log into the Wall Street Journal, and I'm always reading that. I mean, those are probably the 2 things I make sure I read daily. And then obviously, most importantly, is just the continual, getting through different books that are, hopefully enhancing it. But yeah, I'm pretty much the 2 things I focus on are Energy Choice Matters and the Wall Street Journal.
No, thank you for that. I'm going to turn it back over to Big John to take us out.
Yeah, and Mike, I heard you say a few times on this call, long term, right? Long term, and I know how you're rolling this out and what we're seeing in the community solar space. We all believe it will be the biggest transfer of wealth in the energy space, and we're on the ground floor of that. A lot of people might wonder, and if I put my time into this, is this company going to be around in a year, and 2 years, or 3 years? And my answer to them, Michael, is nothing in life is guaranteed. But when you have a partnership with Brookfield and Oak Tree that have a long-term vision, right, of getting community solar throughout the United States, and they're our partner, that would tell people right away that we're here for the long haul. Do you have anything to add to that, Michael, for people that might have doubt?
Yeah, I mean, the space we are going after is a space that has, a tremendous amount of value, and this group is the secret to unlocking that. And so if you think about, just leave aside kind of what I say or Big John says his view, just think about it logically, right? The value that's being created is the people who are originating those community solar customers and the network that's doing it. And so if Brookfield or Oak Tree owned it or whoever, right, the value is the ability to go and be that leader in community solar space, right? That's how I think about the world is, we're growing something special that has just a massive amount of value. And so, yeah, you can, I just say it that way because I don't want people, like, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face that I want to grow this thing long-term. I know that's why you're in it, John. You wouldn't be here for short-term, but, I just go back to reason and logic that it's this group that's doing it, right? That's building it. That's that's going to make us the leader of the community solar space.
Yep. And Michael, we maxed this call out. We maxed out at 100 people. I got about 30 text messages that people couldn't get on.
Yeah.
So we will reshare probably more than 30 people. So we probably would have had close to 200 on this call. Michael, tonight's a big night with the announcements that are coming. It's very hard for me to keep my mouth shut and not share what's going to be announced tonight on this 8 o'clock call. I feel it's going to be life-changing for the people that go after this in short term. What do you have to say about what you're, I know you can't let the cat out of the bag. I love that the company's making enhancements that benefit the field. And I remember you telling me, Michael, when I first asked you, we had that phone call on that Sunday, and I said, Michael, what is different this time than all the other companies? And you spent 45 minutes talking about the customer, how the customer is going to be a centric focus for our company, how we're going to communicate with the customer like no other companies did. And you really just talked about the customer, and that's great, because if we have happy customers, we have a thriving business. So can you just last question, Mike, can you just talk about the excitement that you're going to bring tonight so we can get hundreds of people on this call, and why you realized all the mistakes that not only you made, but everybody in the industry made, and made those corrections?
I love 7-part questions. I don't know which one to unpack first.
Let's go after the customer, Mike.
And I'm joking with you, Big John. I'm just joking with you. So I think the first part, customer value, right? I wouldn't be here if that wasn't what we were focused on, right? Technology is going to unlock it that other people don't have. Community solar, other people have, but I think we can be the winner and get the most volume, grow the largest business, be the best in that space. I saw a text from Kirk, who I see is on this call, this Ambit $800 win back thing. I don't know, Kirk. Like, I don't know anything about that, but I just saw Christian forwarded it to me, and I just laughed. Like, because if they're paying $800 to win a customer back, you know how much money that customer's paying in rates? Because that $800 is coming from somewhere, and it's not coming from a great customer product. But that's just, that's not what we are about. Creating value for customers here, like, full stop. What's coming tonight? I mean, I would just say this: what we announced at the end of the month, I think, is really exciting. Great comp plan changes coming from our TLC, the Think Leadership Council. That's great stuff. I think the 12-month rates has allowed us in PJM to be more competitive in certain spots where we weren't. I mean, that's all really exciting. That'll continue to be reinforced. But the announcements tonight are more centered around community solar. So if you are intrigued by community solar, excited about community solar, or like me, think it is a total game changer, you're not going to want to miss tonight's call. That is where we are going to be focusing. That is where, I think so. You got to be on the call. I'm actually headed tomorrow. The largest solar conference will be tomorrow. We've got Steve Condon and I have full 3 days of meetings booked. We were talking to a developer the other day who told us, like, you guys are making a lot of noise in the industry. I was like, that's really good to hear. That means we're doing our job right. So if you're interested in community solar, tonight's the night. So I wouldn't miss it.
Well, listen, Michael, we appreciate your time hopping on with us. I'm gonna let Kirk Coran close this out. He's the guy that just ranked up again. Congratulations. I'm glad I bothered him for a month and a half every day on the phone. So, Kirk, why don't you come in and close this call out for us, brother? And congratulations on your rank advancement to regional senior partner, senior director. Yeah.
You're a visionary, John. You know where I'm going. Anyways, Michael, thank you for your time. I know you're a busy man, and you know, anytime we can get you on and get our team plugged into your words, very impactful. We all know this is a business that's, feeding off of events and, live business presentations certainly are starting to fuel the fire even more. We've been building this business online using Zoom, and we'll continue to do that. But be with the people, as Julie started off this call, it really your excitement level to a whole nother level. And, I'm very grateful John was persistent with me. I think many people that we're talking today were with the energy industry. When you lose belief in what you're doing, you have no passion. And Michael, first thing I said to myself is, if the Kennys and Big John believe in you, who am I to doubt that? And after I met you and heard your vision and your commitment, I'm just forever grateful to John, number one, for being persistent, and to you for having this vision. I can't believe what we have our hands on. John has always said, borrow my belief and you have your belief. I wish, a third of the people had the belief that we have in what we're about to embark upon, because I know where this is going. I'm excited. John's been traveling for 30. I'm still up here on Cape Cod. I'm going to Marlboro, Mass tonight with Brendan Kent. We're going to do a great presentation. Roll right into this Zoom tonight, be with a bunch of people and hear the excitement. So I encourage everyone to get your teams plugged in, even reach out to people who have dormant until now, because I think what's coming is certainly going to elevate this company to a whole nother level very quickly. So thank you all for, your time, your commitment, and for this opportunity. And I'll leave it at that. And
Well, thanks, Kirk. And you were coming in a little spotty on your voice, but we got most of the gist. Everybody, let's promote this meeting. Julius will get out a recording of this call. A lot of people couldn't get on, probably 100 people. You snooze, you lose, man. We'll expand the amount of people on this call every Monday. We're blessed to be a part of this company. Thank you, Michael. Thank you for your vision. We trust you. You're leading us in a great direction. So everybody, thanks. Have a blessed day, and let's promote the heck out of this call tonight at 8 p.m.
Have a good one. Thank you, Julius. Thank you, John.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, everyone. Looking forward to tonight.
Bye, guys.
Awesome call. Thanks for the morning wake up.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you, and God bless you all.